Good morning, guys. Today's topic is going to be how we achieved 2500% ROI. I'll come back to that at the end of the slide. But today's focus is going to be VR and AR. And these are the topics we are going to talk today. One, there is about 90 seconds of video made with Unity and Industry 4.0. Why I'm going to talk about Industry 4.0, there is a reason. Then we are going to learn to cheat the brain, not to cheat the customer, how to cheat the brain. It's all about brain game. Then at the end, how to create a compelling presentation to convince a client, make sure he do the project. These are some of the projects we had done in the past 5-6 years. Okay, let's talk about Industry 4.0 or smart factories. What is Industry 4.0? Why am I talking about that? Because when we give a solution, uh, we should find out people who are in need, who are desperate, who can afford. Then you can make out the ROI. Industry 4.0 is a treasure in front of us. It's all about how we are going to dig it out. When we talk about Industry 4.0, and as I told you, VR AR is going to be the focus today, in the technology trend where VR and AR stands. This is a famous hype cycle from Gartner, released in 2017. How many of you are aware of how to read the hype cycle? Anyone? Okay, Gartner is a technology firm, gives reports on IT related technologies. It gives us the history, trends, and this serves as a bible for technology industry. Even the governments take decisions based on Gartner's hype cycle. It's all about the life cycle of any technology, from concept to maturity till wide adoption. It's the life cycle of any technology. Any technology has to go through this life cycle. There are 5 stages any technology should pass through. First one is innovation trigger. If any technology is innovated, it will trigger, it will agitate the market. There will be a lot of blogs, web articles. So it will give some excitement to the world, and everyone will start to talking about this technology. And at certain point, it will reach a peak. This peak is called peak of inflated expectations. Technologies, the expectation people build up is more than what the technology is deserved. So there will be a lot of investments, new startups, even people will be thinking, oh, this technology is going to change the world. This is better than what I'm currently doing. But most cases, this is like inflation. Then if there is an inflation, definitely there will be a fall. It's not real. So this area is trough of disillusionment. All the illusions breaks and people realize the reality. Here only capable people who can survive can sustain in the industry. Lot of small players will drop out, and from here people will start to meaningful investment will go in. Okay, meaningful use cases people will start to realize. Industry will slowly start to think of productive use cases. The next cycle is the slope of enlightenment. Okay, last year virtual reality was at the region of slope of enlightenment, and augmented reality was at the trough of disillusionment. The ultimate goal for any technology is to reach the plateau of productivity. I mean, this stage, this technology will become very common. The system is well developed. Maybe you might be having third generation, fourth generation, fifth generation, more stable products, and no more it is called emerging technology. Okay, it has reached a mature level. That's why in 2018 hype cycle released few months back, it was surprising to see VR was missing. But later Gartner has explained we have removed VR from the emerging technology category and we have already pushed it to mature technologies. And the new addition for this year is mixed reality. Okay, let's quickly go through what is Industry 4.0. How many of you come from Unity background? How many of you from industry background? Industry background? Okay, cool. Now in the era of, we are in the era of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is the name given by Europeans, and smart factories is the name, the equivalent in America. If we say Industry 4.0, there should be 2, 3 and 1. Industry 1.0, 1784, during that period of time, everything was manual. Then first steam engine was invented. That made a very big revolution in the industry. That is Industry 1.0. Okay. 2.0, electricity, exactly about 100 years later. After the invention of electricity, it superseded the steam engines. Then introduction of computers and PLC programs, automation, industrial automation. It was a very big revolution in 1970s. Now, in 2011 to 13, in German, there's a consortium of industry people designed a model. Nowadays, it's not like one steam engine or one electricity to talk about. There are plenty of technologies, handful of technologies. So they designed a model and given a name called Industry 4.0. In this model, they have cherry-picked about 9 technologies and how to use these 9 technologies together to bring this model. And in the past 6 years, 5 years, there are so many companies, all major companies tried this model and they have been started giving their case studies and all. It's very impressive. Even for Boeing has started using augmented reality, and they have officially reported in the first year of implementation of augmented reality, their assembly line efficiency, production efficiency has increased by 40% and the time cut by 25%. Industry 4.0, it's all about connecting machines in a cyberspace and also with people. It's all about connectivity. It starts with IoT. You collect the data, you analyze the data, using the analytics, you bring something artificial, give artificial brain to the machines, educate the machines, machine learning, do automation, increase the productivity. All goes to cloud computing, and automatically when cloud comes, cyber security is there, 3D printing is there, and augmented reality and virtual reality. If you see, out of the 9 components, AR and VR is something unique. In which way? Can someone try to figure out how VR is different from all other technologies? Okay, no time. All the other 8 technologies is talking about machines, how to make a machine efficient. But only technology educating and increasing the efficiency of humans is AR and VR. And if any company want to implement Industry 4.0, cost-effective implementation, to start with, you cannot bring all the 9 technologies together. It is very expensive. To start with, do start with VR, AR. Test the benefits. Then next step. So Industry 4.0 customers, who are all Industry 4.0 customer? Every industry in the globe are the Industry 4.0 customers. They are desperate. And it has been declared, research report says, if a company doesn't adopt Industry 4.0 model now, it cannot see the next decade. You imagine when electricity was introduced, with somebody saying, oh, okay, I will go with steam engine. They wouldn't be survived. When computer was introduced, we are doing everything manually. Why should we look for computer? If some company has decided this way, they might have died. So Industry 4.0 customers are desperate. Make use of it. The opportunity is there. Learn to cheat. What is virtual reality? A one-line definition someone can give? What is virtual reality? Virtual reality is all about cheating the brain. We have the understanding of the environment through so many sensors in the body, and these sensors gives information to the brain, and brain understands the environment. In virtual reality, we are cheating the brain. All the sensory informations, we are giving false information and making the brain to believe that I am in a real environment, right? So to do proper cheating, you should understand the basics. And one interesting research by University of California, they have given a VR experience to a few hundred people. It's experience about inside a house. Then after a few months back, they called up, and they, while scanning their head using the functional MRI will give which part of the brain lights up, which is active currently. That kind of information you can get through that MRI. Then these people were asked, how was the house? Where was the bed? Where was the balcony? When they started to recalling, that time, an area called hippocampus was activated for more than 80 to 90% people. That area, in fact, stores the experiences. Okay. 2 days back, you go back, you think about this event, somewhere you are recalling that area, the data is stored, that area is called hippocampus. VR experience simulate the same area of the brain. So, brain is believing that it's real. Okay, you have to support the brain with the content. Visual cues. For understanding of the environment, visual cues plays a major role. Whatever you see, 60% inputs comes through the eyes. And when we say eyes, we have binocular vision. It's called stereopsis. So stereoscopic understanding, you should have stereoscopic understanding to create a proper VR content. And I'm rushing through the slides. I need about 2 hours. I left with only 15 minutes. Maybe after the event you have any doubts, I'm always available. Reduce brain towards divergence and accommodation conflict. This is again something, when I see something, I focus there and my eye converges there. If I see this remote, my focus is here, eyes are converging here, this is real. But when you see in VR, you are focusing somewhere few inches from here, the screen, but you are seeing depth somewhere there. That means focusing is here, and converging of the eyes are somewhere few meters away from there. This is not This is not our brain got trained. This is not our eyes are trained. Okay, this is we are training the eye. So if you know the principle, you shouldn't have jump cuts in your content. Okay, what I mean by jump cuts, you bring an object in one shot here, the next shot suddenly that object jumps here, then your eye will start strain. There should be a smooth transition. And there are non-visual cues. Kinesthetics. Kinesthetics is all about movements. Our every joints and limbs, muscles have sensors, gives feedbacks to the brain. Whether I'm Bharati, where Bharati is walking or standing or folding his legs, all the information are fed by kinesthetic sensors. If there is no movement, I'm standing, physically standing, okay, but the visuals in the VR are in movement, then the brain will try to match, which is true, whether the visuals are true or the sensory data are true. So don't give unnecessary movements in a VR because this confuses the brain. Vestibular. Vestibular is like a human accelerometer kind of thing, gyroscope. There are 3 spirals in the ear filled with fluids. It gives the information on the orientation, rotation in X, Y, Z axis of the head. If this information doesn't match with the visual, I'm standing still, but the visual inside the VR environment is tilting, then the brain will again try to match it, then it will get confused, which is true. That is the main reason for motion sickness and nausea when you experience VR. Third one, proprioception. Okay. This is about the subconscious feel of my position in the environment. Okay. When I close my eyes, I don't have visual cues. I'm not moving, but I still can touch my nose. How? This is kind of sixth sense, collective of all these senses and gives the position of the body. So you create something in virtual environment, as much as possible give clues on your body position. Give some hands, so you move your hand, you can see your virtual hand. So the visual cue of the virtual hand and information from the proprioception to the brain, both will match. So the immersion will be better. These small elements we have been overlooking. Again, haptics, smell, audio. Audio we couldn't miss out. Audio gives depth information and our position in the space. So don't overlook on audio, 3D audio. When you create a presentation for a client, don't think about you, think about the client. Stand in his shoes and understand his requirements and prepare the customized presentation. Don't go with what you are having, a standard presentation of your company. Don't pitch on technology. Client won't be impressed what is VR or AR, but instead pitch on a solution. List down the issues faced by the client. You can get all the information from the internet. Collect statistics of similar issues around the world. Find out a solution, and if possible, give a bow tie analysis. What is bow tie analysis? I will come back. Justify your solution with case studies. Work out an ROI end of the day. For the client to invest, what is the return on investment for me? Okay, you can do a better job on ROI calculation than the client because you have the better domain knowledge than the client. And finally, don't miss to demonstrate your capability.
Introducing next generation augmented reality training solutions, anytime, anywhere training solution with a great return on investment. Unified training module simulated for different functional roles such as process operator, DCS operator, and maintenance technician. 3D AR models with real-to-life navigation allowing a walkthrough experience, specially designed to cater to the...
I'm going to skip this. And this is, these are few slides from one of our presentation for the oil and gas customer. So the major problem they are facing is industrial accidents. So these are all the reports, like 90% accidents due to human errors, 80% marine casualties, human errors, all authenticated data. So we have addressed, we have figured out the issue. Typical accidents in oil and gas, the percentage by category. And take the data from renowned people. Don't give your own opinion. Take data, proven data by renowned research people. And very famous learning pyramid. This is again the Bible for the methodology of teachings. Start with listening, reading, audio visual, demonstration, group discussions, practice by doing, teach others. These are all passive methodologies, and bottom three are cooperative, interactive. Knowledge retention rate is surprisingly for lectures, conventional classroom trainings are only 5%, reading 10%, audio visual 20, demonstration 30, group discussion 50, practice by doing, that means you are experiencing something, and teach others. This is 75 to 90. We are fitting AR and VR in the 75 to 90% category. Why? We have supportive document. The same hippocampus area in the brain activates when we learn something through VR, right? So we are fitting VR and AR knowledge retention under the category of 75 to 90. How much more time I have? 5 minutes? 6, good. This is from Shell. They have developed this concept of bow tie analysis. Any problem, it can be your company issues, your personal issue, anything can be analyzed through this analysis. So this is a bow tie, an accident, event. Let's say a crack in a pipeline is a top event. This event releases a hazard. For any event, there is a threat cause. That is only the moment the threat cause is created, its dominoes effect, it goes towards the event, then it releases the hazard. And after the event, again the domino effect continues till risk creating the risk. WHO report says 2.3 million workers die every year as a result of industrial accidents. 2.3 million, and it causes 3 trillion loss, monetary loss. Okay. So if you could give a solution, even 2% of it, 5% of it can be saved. It's a big deal. How to do that? Put a barrier. When the moment threat cause initiated, before it reaches the event, put a control barrier. Slow it down. Same on the other side. After the event has happened, then before reaching the impact, total loss, put something. Threat causes can be process, system, external events, and also human factors, human errors in the industry. This is about 80 to 90% of the accidents through human factors. Direct human errors, 26%. So how to put a barrier, control barrier, classroom training, refresher training. That's why companies are giving refresher training on standard operating procedure, standard maintenance procedure and all. Engage skilled experienced operators, give mock-up drills, yeah, fine. But even then, even for decades, companies are doing these exercises, but still you are getting the report. 3 trillion loss, how many million human loss? So these are not effective. Something is slowing down the effectiveness of this thing. What is that? These are all called escalation factor. Classroom training, maximum efficiency is only 20%. And bringing in the experienced operator, it's not an easy thing. To get a 30 years experienced operator, you need to wait for 30 years. Okay. To bring down these items bring down the effectiveness of these barriers. We need to put something speed breaker in between to bring down the effect of this. That is where VR AR training comes in. Because knowledge retention rate here is 90%. All the emergency scenarios can be created and people can be trained. The exact key performance index can be achieved, tested in a short period. So getting an experienced operator is much more easier within a limited time using VR AR. I really don't have time to go through everything. But do this kind of analysis, fit your customers' problems inside About I, find a solution. I am skipping all these slides. And we need to conclude, yeah, About I is fine, but how are we going to help the industry with our solution? 2016 alone, some 74 billion spent on training, for industrial training. It's a big amount, no? And these are all reports, 30 to 40%. VR training cut down the time, and 15 to 20% of unplanned shutdowns of plants can be saved. It's not like prediction, these are all supported with case histories done by, I think, GE. With all this, all this supportive information given, now we are going to talk about ROI. 1 million barrels per day refinery processing capacity. Their profit per day is about Indian money 10 crores. Okay, 10 crores. This is not a very big scale refinery, it's an average refinery. Reliance is much bigger than this. So reduce downtime, reduce plant equipment repair costs, reduce safety incidents and fatalities, reduce environmental damages, reputation. These are the areas this training going to bring out. My last slide. If you see, in any refineries, done by GE, almost 450 field surveys. In 3 years, in an average, 2 unplanned shutdowns are happening because of human errors. One shutdown will take at least 3 to 4 weeks of downtime. You imagine 1 day is about 10 to 15 crores of profit is lost. For 30 days, how many crores? Let's say we give a solution to a customer. This is real, huh? We charge some 30 lakhs and their annual budget is some 25 lakhs. So they have saved 30 to 40% through VR training, direct and indirect. I mean, what indirect means, we'll come back. Then unplanned startup and shutdowns, 15 to 20%. This is through a research from GE, supported by in the previous slide. So how much you save and the maintenance budget. Every company have a maintenance, the annual allocation is 4 to 6% of our turnover. Okay, let's say 5,000 crores company should allocate 4 to 6% of their budget, annual budget for maintenance. This annual budget is for what? Mainly for training, materials, tap this market. So achieving, in fact, it is not 2,500, I rounded up. It went until 4,700%. So these customers, Industry 4.0 customers, 1 day of loss, 1 day of downtime, cost them exorbitant amount, right? So not just focus on oil and gas. Every industry in the globe, as I said, for their own survival, they have to adopt Industry 4.0 model. And the only element of Industry 4.0 out of the 9 components is VR AR, which talks about people, not about machines. Okay? Any questions? 2 minutes.
Any question? We can take 1 or 2 questions. So one of the challenge we see is that some of the existing industrial training, their mindset is more on their existing manuals. They're bringing some outboard. For example, look at like DG sets maintenance or a cement factory. They bring the existing relationships and then they're kind of get used to it. So in your experience, like how did you break it? And of course, this is it's a great return of investment solution and all. What are the issues of changing on the mindset and how do you pitch them?
Okay. I am seeing success only in the past 18 months, I can say. But I'm in the industry for almost 17 years and into VR for closely 7 years. But every time we ended up with creating our own head-mounted displays in 2013, own haptics. Okay. But everyone after the demo, they will say, super, super, wow, wow, but nothing turned out as a business. The main reason is the doubt they had whether this technology is reliable, stable, or let's wait for somebody to implement and see the results. Now, so many people in the industry already invested. We have proven results to support, and also presentation. I realized if we give a demo, then he has to do his own groundwork, ROI calculation, submit to the finance department. But who has the time? For every presentation, me and my team spend about a week of research in the internet, collect all these data. So after the demo, it stops there itself. So we have to do the groundwork on behalf of the client, find out their problem, you give the solution, justify it, supportive case studies. Please work out the ROI. They don't care 30 lakhs or 3 crores, provided they can take back the money. Okay, nobody will invest 2 lakhs, but no return of investment. But 2 crores, take the money in 2 months or 3 months. That is a wise investment, right?
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Bharati. So to share his knowledge on today, if you have further questions, you can always approach him by the side of the ballroom, right?
Yeah, I'm available. PPT. For my 20 years of professional experience, I have never used PPT, but my first presentation was this. I created about a year back, just going through YouTube videos and Udemy videos. Just 2 days of learning. Everyone can do it. Purely inside PPT.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.